Hey guys, welcome to the Straight to Midnight podcast, where for 1 hour we're going to be talking about all things gaming, anime, and League of Legends. So sit back, grab some popcorn, and enjoy. So how about we start things off right and introduce ourselves? Mark, how about you go first?
Hello, my name is Mark. My name is Banana Boy. I'm just the guy who talks mostly about the anime sections and the gaming sections, and I just like to chill with the guys here.
I'm Omizo. My name is Omar, and I mostly talk about League. I'm a dirty Yasuo main. Don't judge me. Get wrecked.
Bose.
I am the bone of my sword. Steel is my body. Fire is my blood. I have created over 1,000 blades, unknown to death, nor known to life. Have withstood pain to create many weapons, yet those hands shall never hold anything. So as I pray, unlimited blade works. I'm Bose, and I'm cringe.
And Steven.
And I'm Asterluke, also known as Steven. I have a webcomic called Book of Soul, and you can find me under anything under the handle Asterluke.
So, Jose, when you told me you were going to do that intro, I didn't think it was going to be that cringy, and now that I heard it, I was like, my whole entire body cringed in on it. So
I had to mute myself because I didn't want to be laughing through the whole thing.
Dude, this is my favorite quote from the Fate series. I don't even care. Screw you guys.
I mean, it was cringy though. I mean, you went full weeb. Anyways.
I mean, am I
It was
not
pretty
cool?
shameful.
I don't have any shame.
Shameful display.
Anyway.
I don't have any shame.
Anyways, how about we get started and start? Let's get started right with some League of Legends. So yeah, we Ornn released. God, I'm kind of tired right now. No, Ornn released, and we've had 2 weeks to really get to know this guy so far, or I don't know when was did anybody know when his video released or when he was like actually revealed? Because I think it's 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been like 2 weeks. Cause we
Pretty
missed
sure it's been like 2 weeks.
We missed last week, yeah. Because last week was like the first week he was out, so yeah, it's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah, so 2 weeks, and I've been trying to play him on the PvE, and I get 20-minute queues, so I've just given up on trying to play on the PvE. So,
I told you to play him in the practice tool.
yeah, but I just haven't wanted to like log onto my PvE account for some time. So,
SMH.
yeah, but no, I saw some videos of him, and he's actually pretty damn good, and he looks pretty good. That brittle thing, holy shit, that looks pretty damn strong. I don't know if you guys seen any videos of it, but it looks pretty strong. What about, have you guys seen anything about it yet?
I saw his champion reveal, and I saw his abilities and everything. It seems pretty relatively unique. Is usually is really the most unique out of all this kit. It's gonna be interesting when it comes live.
I mean, yeah, like, I think his ult is definitely interesting. I was looking at it, I was like, it didn't look like it had too many, it looked pretty basic at first, but then when you actually look at it, that thing has like a huge range of who it can hit. Like, the hitbacks on that is a lot more bigger than what it actually looks like. So, I was like, this is a pretty good ult, and in a team fight, like, this will basically hit everyone if they're all grouped together. So he's pretty damn strong, and that percent health damage and everything. He has very unique interactions, is what I'll say. Definitely different from everyone, but I think he's definitely one of those champions that's gonna like really do well in the top lane, or I don't know. I think maybe the jungle role if somebody's good enough with him in the jungle role. But definitely a good one.
Yeah, Ornn's really unique. His passive is what's going to be interesting because I'm looking at the items that are going to be upgradable, and it's Sunfire Cape, Infernal Mask, Infinity Edge, the Black Cleaver, Rabadon's Dead Cap, Trinity Force, Redemption, and Locket of the Iron Solari.
I still wish they went with Infinity Edgy.
Infinity Edgier.
Well, I mean, if you want the nicknames, it's Forge Fire Cape and Inferno Mask. I just called it that because I didn't know the original name. Molten Edge, the Obsidian Cleaver, Rabadon's Dead Crown, Trinity Fusion, Salvation, and Circlet of the Iron Solari.
I mean, I know.
I think Quad Force is a lot cooler than Fusion.
All right, let's read out these names. Infinity Edgier, Quad Force, Abyssal Costume, Rabadon's Deaf Ear Cap, Multicolor Cleaver, Nuclear Inferno Cape, Complete Redemption and Massive Hench Necklace of the Iron Solari.
I don't understand who came up with those names, but they were pretty damn good. Yeah, and what about you, Steven? How do you feel about Ornn? Because you don't really play a lot of tanks, but I don't know. I don't know. You never really tell me how you feel about tanks and when they release, so I didn't know.
I mean, it's been some time since we've gotten a new tank. What was the last one? I mean,
shit. I'm trying to remember.
Like Braum, right?
Braum.
Braum was like the straight up tank, right?
Yeah, Braum was like straight up tank.
I don't know. Everyone else has been like off, like bruisers and stuff. But
I thought Tom
yeah,
Finch was
Tom.
the last one.
Oh yeah, Tom Finch.
Yeah, you could show Tom. Yeah, I mean that's how few of them there are.
Yeah.
And no, yeah, he looks really good. I've like steered away from any gameplay of him, not on purpose. I rarely watch League content that much, but definitely when he comes out, I mean this meta is already really tank heavy, but then it's just gonna increase so much. Like Maokai, like we were discussing some other time, that his ult is just gonna get even stronger with the brittle, and then you're gonna see a lot of Leonas as their supports, and like everybody's gonna be taking really CC heavy teams whenever he's on their side for sure.
Well, hopefully.
I think he's gonna be. Yeah, I mean that's the best way to play with him. Like once with brittle especially, I think once he's used right, he's gonna be a big force. But it's sad that we can't see him on competitive because he didn't come out soon enough. Because that would have been cool.
Oh yeah, because I think at this point, I think they've locked in what they're gonna take competitively for the playoff season. I mean,
yeah, they're not letting him go in.
Yeah, they're not letting him for the playoffs, but we'll definitely see him at Worlds. But we won't see him in competitive, which is where I would like to see him, because I'm not saying that you should always look to the competitive scene for what's good and what isn't, because the competitive scene is on such a different level. But I feel as though like seeing him competitively gets you an idea of what you should be trying to what you should be trying to do with him, not like what you should be building or whether or not
how he should be played.
Or whether or not he fits in with a team comp or not. But more as how he should be played and what is your main objective with him, because I think the pros are very good at showing. I think a lot of times the pros are very good at showing that. I think when Kane got taken into the competitive play, he definitely went up a lot because people really got to see, well, this is what Kane should be doing, and this is how you should be playing him, and then people were like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. So I think that's why I like seeing it competitive, but that's just me. I don't know. How do you feel, guys, about that? Omar?
I mean, like I said, the same thing. Omar, do you watch a lot of competitive? I don't think I've ever asked you.
I mean, because you're talking about like competitive and Worlds, but what is competitive LCS?
Like,
yeah, LCS. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, LCS.
I mean,
it's harder to say.
I don't really watch a lot, but I do watch like the main teams that I like. So like CLG, TSM, C9, Phoenix One. Isn't it? Yeah, like just a few. Every once in a while, watch a random one. I mean, it's really interesting to see, and I think Ornn might get played, but just like we've seen Kane, it's going to be a rare pick because it's going to be new, and it's scary to play in a competitive match because you have the risk of it not working out because it's so new.
Definitely. it's always that one thing, do I want to take the new champion into this matchup? Because what if he's just absolutely terrible and I just lose my team this game? Because that's what happened with the rework of Galio, where so many people were taking Galio, but were just not doing well with Galio. They just didn't understand Galio, and were doing something completely different that they shouldn't have been doing. Because I think a lot of people, the struggle with Galio when he was released was, well, Galio has a lot of damage, so let me build more damage on him. When in reality, I think the best way to have built Galio was to just build him straight tank and not worry about too much damage on you.
Yeah, build him similar to what he was before, because I mean he's made to be like the anti-AP.
And Mage Buster.
People will always want to make everybody just like, oh, let's go straight up damage, but that's what leads people to underestimate tanks, and that's why they take over a lot of the times.
Yeah, I mean, Galio was really good with tanks because there was a taunt in his ult. I mean, his ult already gave damage reduction, so it was pretty nice. But returning to Ornn and competitive play, honestly, I think we'll only see him get played by teams who practiced him as a team and in scrims, because they will know what they're doing and don't know if it works out or not.
I mean, we'll probably see him in competitive play at Worlds, but I really think it's too early to really be even, thinking that we'll see him at Worlds either.
You just completely contradicted yourself.
No, okay.
That's funny. But I mean, definitely for how do you think lower elo players are going to take this champion? I mean, because a lot of times what happens is someone will be high damage, like medium skill cap, and they'll get played a lot in the lower tiers. And obviously the higher tiers, like, they'll play anybody. It really just depends.
I think.
But how do you think people are going to take him?
I think in bronze especially, people are going to struggle picking up this guy, because this guy is definitely team-based reliant, and the problem that a lot of low elo teams have, a lot of low elo players have, is picking for the comp instead of picking for what's good. So like a lot of times it's like, well, I'm good with this champion, so I'm only going to play this champion. But a lot of times, they don't, they have one pick that they're really good at, and then someone like Ornn comes in, and then you kind of have to work around Ornn at that point. You have to work, your support has to be tanky. You have to take something like an Alistar or a Leona or something like that. You want to take a jungle that's also tanky as well, so like an Amumu or something like that. And then you want to work around...
Or even not necessarily tanky, but just someone who has the crowd control that he needs to benefit off of.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say straight up tanky. I mean,
yeah, like
it does...
just something that can offer CC, and a lot of teams just struggle thinking that way, because a lot of times people are like, well, I'm just going to take Cat into this heavy CC comp, and then they wonder why they're getting like blown up every single time. It's like, well, you may be a god at Cat, but Cat has her faults as well. She's good, but she's not good against comps where, every person on the team can CC her. Like, you don't take Cat into like Ashe, you don't take Cat into like Ashe, Braum, Amumu jungle, Pantheon, and then what would be like a good top laner like Garen or something like that. You don't take her into that stuff because like you're guaranteed to get killed every single time you start a fight, because every person on the team can.
Was that a fucking pun?
Was that a pun?
Garen. Okay. How about we move off of this topic and move on to something else, which is...
Steven, give us this intro.
Hit us up with this intro, Steven. Hit us up with this beautiful transition.
Alright. So, Ornn, right?
Yeah.
He was shown on Instagram as his first teaser trailer. Instagram is a social media network. Social media. Twitter. On Twitter of the DBC Fighters Z whatever game, they showed screenshots of the new game, and they didn't show any gameplay. But this was actually like 2 days ago where they showed everything. They showed... This was very bad of a transition, but I want to talk about it. They showed Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. They showed 16, 18, and then 17, but not really like 17. They were confirmed for summons, but like this was like so subtle of information. Just like, oh yeah, that's gonna be in there, and Super Saiyan Blue, Vegeta, Goku, yeah, that too. And just the way they did it is just so funny because like because they had already built hype. I mean, everyone's really excited for this game because it's got Arc System working on it. It looks amazing, like everything, like the graphics of the game, it's like phenomenal. But it's just really funny how they managed to just like, yeah, this is this. I mean, we don't even know what they're gonna do next because we don't have any confirmed information outside of the gameplay people have shown and stuff like that. But I mean, the game looks. I can't wait for it to come out because it's gonna come out for PC as well, right?
Yeah,
I believe.
I think so. Definitely.
But it's gonna be great. It is definitely the Dragon Ball game a lot of people have been waiting for.
Just to go back to that transition, Steven, we could have done this. Like, you got the information on Instagram. How about instant transmission into the new DBZ fighter?
That's a really good one.
That's a really good one.
I didn't have it planned because I thought you guys were gonna keep talking about Ornn.
Yeah. No. Anyways. Yeah. No. When I first saw Dragon Ball Z Fighters, I was like, well, is Super gonna be in this? Like, we've seen transformations that are from the original Dragon Ball Z Kai, or Dragon Ball Z as most people will call it.
Just Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. No, but I mean, you'll see those though.
Yeah. We saw those, but the real question was, are we gonna see God forms? Are we gonna see what is it? The androids, or like, are we just gonna get like a small roster, or are we gonna get like the full real deal, like Dragon Ball like team? Like we have Trunks, we have Cell, we have Majin Buu, we have Frieza, we have Vegeta, Goku, and
Gohan, Krillin, Piccolo,
yeah, and
a bunch.
And I think now we can basically say that the God forms are basically confirmed to be there. So the question is, are we gonna see like people? Are we gonna be able to play like as Beerus? Are we gonna be able to play like Whis? Zamasu, Goku Black? Anybody?
See, that's the thing I'm wondering about, because I know a lot of people have been kind of steering away from the new stuff. It's trying to pull a lot of older people in, of course, with the original trailer, because it showed a lot of just the classic DBZ stuff. But I mean, I'm curious to see how far they'll go, because I mean, not everyone knows about the characters. I mean, sometimes they'll try to fill the roster up to the brim with like just nobodies. But I mean, we'll see how far they go, because this has clearly been in development for a while. But we don't know for sure how many they're gonna add. Definitely seeing Goku Black would be cool though.
They need to throw in my boy Yamcha, or it's not a good game.
But I mean, like, for me, and bringing the super characters in, which is like the God forms and all that kind of stuff, it's just like it's hard for I guess it's harder for the creators to put these God forms versus all these other characters, when we already know that God forms should be able to beat almost anything. And there's still not enough characters made in the DB Super universe yet that are really big villains or anything. Yeah, there's Zamasu, but he's pretty much the only one, and Goku Black as well. There's very few characters yet that we've actually seen where they're able to contend with Goku at the level, unless you're including the Universal Tournament arc. But I don't think they're going to include that, because that's just way too new.
I mean, yeah, of course, the God forms are definitely like, oh, how can this person compete with this person? But as I said before, this is a video game, so a lot of times that kind of stuff gets thrown out the window. It's just like, well, how does this person compete with this person in his God form? Well, I mean, it.
I mean, that should be completely kind of thrown out the window, because also they included the what ifs, and I don't know if any of you played any of the Dragon Ball Fighter games, or just any of those, like the Budokais, Tenkaichi, anything of that. But there's a lot of times where they include what if this happened stories. So certain ones where it's like Goku fuses with Mr. Satan, or Piccolo and Krillin fuse, or Yamcha and Tien fuse. It's like it has these alternate paths and stuff. So I mean, they usually play around with the amount of just like how realistic should this actually be, and like you said, it is a video game, non-canonicity.
Like,
I mean,
I'm not trying to, like, what we're not trying to say is...
No, what I'm saying is, that there's, like, even for balance-wise, like, they can make the god form super strong, but it's, like, usually, what happens in, like, fighting games is they'll be, like, kind of a one-trick pony. So, let's just say, for example, Akuma from Street Fighter. He hits super hard, but he gets hurt super fast. He's a glass cannon. So, they might try to do it in that some sort of aspect or something to, like, make it like maybe handicap the person that's playing them, or even just make them really, really strong, but like low amount of health, stuff like that. But we'll see.
Because
or maybe like they can't hold the form for that long, and they go out of the form whenever they lose. Maybe something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
All I'm saying, dude. But on the other stuff for that game is how freaking amazing it's starting to look. It looks awesome, and I'm just like. I'm excited as all hell because I'm seeing all the forms and like seeing Super Saiyan Blue with Kaioken. That's something I didn't expect because I was like, that's pretty new. I didn't know if they were gonna put it in, if they were just gonna like leave it out. They just put Super Saiyan. I knew they were probably gonna put Super Saiyan Blue because Golden Freeze was in there, but Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken was not something what I'm expecting. You think Hit's gonna be in there?
Maybe, yeah. There's a possibility. We'll just have to wait and see.
Of course, we have no idea like what all they're gonna add to this game, and I don't.
Yeah, for sure.
And I definitely think Arc System wants to add a lot more. So, it definitely seems like there's still a lot to work with there, and there's still a lot there that has yet to be revealed. Because I feel as though Arc System hasn't played all their cards yet. You know,
Oh no. Sure. They're waiting on. They're probably going to make another.
They're going to make another big reveal soon, and it's something that we would never have expected because there's no way this game is just like going to be that. They're definitely going to show us something that's like we've never seen before, like
Super Saiyan Blue Yamcha.
Super Saiyan.
I hate you, Mark. Obviously, Yamcha could only go Super Saiyan Red.
Come on,
Super
Steve,
Saiyan
you know it's
Blue
gonna be good.
Yamcha. What does that even do?
Yamcha sucks.
Look, Mark, they're not doing that level of fan service. And speaking of fan service,
Did somebody say fan service?
how does everyone feel about it in their animes?
Yes.
Fairytale sucks.
What?
I do enjoy Fairy Tail very much.
Right.
Carl's about to punch.
I'm so sick and tired of all of you calling Fairy Tail trash because it has fan service. It has a good story, it has a good plot, there's a lot of fan service, and I understand that, but it's a good story and I love it, and there's more to it than just the fan service. I don't like the fan service personally in that show, but it's a very good story, it has very good characters, and has very good characters, and I love all the characters.
Mark, calm down. I also like Fairy Tail. Don't worry. Not everybody's.
I've watched a bunch of Fairy Tail. I actually like it too. It's not bad. I mean, I just like the
funny about it. You're the only one on the other side. Look up.
Wait, Jose wants to say something, guys.
Yeah, go ahead, Jose.
You forgot something very important about Fairy Tail.
What about?
It's also filler.
But the fillers are actually kind of good.
It's all filler. It's
Not
all
all,
filler.
not all of them are gonna defend are they good, but most of them are pretty good.
I don't know. I feel as though fan service in anime is just kind of like, it's okay if you do it every like once in a while, and like, if you're gonna do like a beach up,
like fan service like has a really wide range. So, like when you say, or I mean, like cleavage, you're probably gonna get that like in a lot of shows. But I'm assuming you're talking about when they really emphasize it, right? Like that's when you're talking about
each episode.
Yeah, like each.
I think we're just talking about it in general. I mean, it is fan service
because like
regardless.
there's animes who have it everywhere, but only if you pay attention to it. But then there's animes who like make it on the screen, like blow it up. So like
I mean, high school. We're talking High School of the Dead bath scene, and that's.
The Monster Musume bath scene.
Monster Musume.
You know, if you've watched Monogatari series, you would make fun of me because it's all fan service.
Toothbrush.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean, this sounds like honestly, this is like the fan service in anime, and like it sounds like streamers who are girls, like if it has good gameplay, you watch it even if it has boobs. But if it's just boobs and no gameplay,
we're not defending Twitch streamers. This isn't.
I'm not
Twitch
defending. I'm
streaming
just
chat.
saying
We're not gonna be doing
it's an
any- we're not
analogy.
gonna even
That's how
go into
fan
that.
service.
Everything has a time
But
and
I
place.
think that. But I
Not
think
now.
that's different. Though.
Not here.
It's a
Is
bit
it though?
of
Because
just
like if it has fan service but it has a good storyline, you'll still watch it because it has a storyline. But if it only has fan service, that's the point of the anime.
I mean-
I don't think it's a good
I mean-
defense for it completely though, because there are definitely people who only watch it for the fan service, and there's
But yeah,
certain-
it depends on
Keijo.
who you're selling it to.
You,
But I-
you
but I
have no right to
think
even
that's
talk about people who watch Keijo because you watch all 12 episodes of it.
Keijo was such a like clown fest. That show was like straight up like when I watched it, I was like I expected to go in for like boobs and ass, and then like I went in, it was basically like it was boobs and ass but Dragon Ball Z. And I was like I don't know how I feel about this. Like it was weird. It was a really weird show. If you never watched it, you need to watch it. It's so good. But what is it? No, fan service is okay, and not all the time is fan service just panty shots and stuff. Sometimes it's like fan service is just like fan service just basically means
Something that's a service to the fan, pretty much.
yeah, service to the
I mean,
fan.
like,
So like
for like
Um.
Grindel, I guess fan service in Naruto would be the first scene where Naruto and Sasuke kissed each other. I'm pretty sure that's like his like bread and butter of that anime.
Well, I mean, something as simple as confessing that a character is like a tomboy is fan service.
yeah,
or a character being super strong could be considered fan service because they're kind of like that empty vessel for you to be like, yeah, I'm that guy.
I think
I don't want to be exposed to him.
I think if ever there was an episode in Boku no Hero, like of course we're gonna see Deku get strong at some point. We're going to see him get strong, but like if there was an entire episode where Deku fought like this huge ass villain and just like lays the beating down on this dude, I'm pretty sure that would be considered fan service because like everyone would be like, oh my fucking Deku just beat the shit out of this fucking villain and he did it like All Might style. Like literally everyone would be like, that's fucking fan service right there, because Deku's not supposed to be that strong yet, but he did it anyway. So it's one of the, I think fan service can be considered anything where it's like yeah, I want there to be fan service in this show, but at the same time like I don't want it to be in the style of panty shots and stuff. I just want it to be like a good fight or something that people didn't expect out of this character to happen.
Or like playing to people's ships.
Oh, I hate that. That's the worst kind of fan service for me. I hate when people play to people's ships. That's like,
Oh, so you mean like Ruby?
oh, Ruby does that so much, but I don't even want to
Shots
talk
fired.
about that. I don't even want to fucking talk about that.
Listen,
It
Carlos,
concerns the
you're
topic
anything
to
to
talk
that?
about it.
fan service that doesn't take away from the story.
If we're talking
But
about
I mean,
people,
if you're
we're
doing
talking
something
about
for the audience, isn't it taken away from the story?
if we're talking about people playing with ships, we can talk about Ruby.
Okay, first off, that
Carlos,
doesn't, it
you
doesn't
finish
happen.
it,
Okay, that shit doesn't happen in the show. It happens in real life, and they play with the ships all the damn time. So I can't even defend what happens in that fucking show when they act. Basically, the fan service doesn't happen in the show. It happens in real fucking life. So it's like, I can't even defend what fucking happens. So
In what show?
Ruby, Rooster Teeth is the one that does most of the fan service for that fucking show. It's not even the show itself. So
Hey man, there's one scene in there that's pretty good. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not spoiling it.
yeah. Anyways, what is it? No, there's definitely, and then of course going back to the fan service we all know and love, the plot fan service. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like when I see it, I'm just like, it's okay, but just don't put it.
Excuse me?
It's
Did
okay.
you just lump me into the plot-loving fan service?
No, I know
'Cause
you're not.
I haven't even voiced my opinion. No,
Go.
I don't like fan service.
Well,
I don't
go.
know.
Well, I said I'm okay with it. I didn't think I lumped you into it.
No, because you were like, because we all love the plot. I'm like, shut up.
Well, go ahead.
I mean, I
Bliss,
find
you're-
it. All right, I mean, I find no enjoyment in it because I'm just like, it doesn't deter from the story necessarily, but I'm just like, I understand the culture, and I understand that like this has been done for a long time. Because like I mean, it was even done in Dragon Ball. You know, it's been done super long. But I mean, at this point, it just seems contrived. Because I'm like, I don't care. Like it's been done so many times and in funnier ways of like, you know, oh, this character accidentally does this, and they see them. Oh my gosh! Like who cares? Like
The only time
that just feels so generic and kind of overdone at this point. I mean, all I want to do is just sit down and watch some anime. I don't want to be like, this character's annoying. Like, I don't want to deal with this. And that makes it harder to watch new ones because sometimes it'll be full of it just to attract those people who really don't care.
So basically,
Oh,
what
yeah.
you're saying is you don't
I
want to
like-
watch an entire anime of Eren Yeager talking about how he's gonna kill all the Titans, but he only kills fucking one, or not
I
even
want to see the
any.
titty.
Let's not get into that. I will start a rant on that.
Give me the 2D
The
titty.
only time I like fan service is when they do it in a unique way. That's like the only time. Other than that, because because you know I watch Fairy Tail, and I'm a big I love Fairy Tail, but I know that it's really bad about its fan service, and it has a lot of cheesy moments where it's just like why does that have to be there in the show? But I mean, if it does it in a unique way and it's a new way, I'm like, oh, I welcome it. It's all right. But I'm not gonna be like, if it's the same old thing, it's the same old generic thing where it's literally just the panty shot or whatever it is, whatever they do. I'm not gonna care. I really don't care. I mean, most times I don't care about fan service in anime, and I just want them to just like I just want them to get to the story and just stop with it because it's more time than not. It just takes away from the story, especially in Fairy Tail. At least what happens is they put it fan service in like the scenes where there's like big fights and stuff, and there's like epic moments and stuff like that, and it just takes away from the scene for me at least.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely don't like fan service in like big set moments in an anime. It's like, wait.
It wouldn't be a trademark character death if we wouldn't be able to see her panties one last time. Just saying.
I don't think anybody ever fucking dies in Fairy Tail. Does anybody die?
No.
I mean,
No.
if someone died, the fan service would end. So, yeah, I doubt.
Yeah, I doubt. But no, definitely. I mean, yes, of course. You never want so much fan service that it gets annoying that, you know, they become Eren Yeager to you. Like, nobody wants Eren Yeager in their fucking anime. I'm not trying to bash on Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan's a great series, but I just can't get behind Eren Yeager's motivations. He just seems too fucking weak to be the main character. It's like so many people are doing so much more than him, and the only thing he does is bitch and moan about everything.
Right. That's enough.
Boo-hoo?
we don't want
My
to
parents
start
are dead?
this. I told you.
Isn't-
I'm going to like a 30
Isn't that
minute
in
rant
some
on
ways
this.
kind of isn't that in some way kind of a metaphor for, you know, the walls and stuff? Because I mean, you try to prevent all these bad things from happening, but I mean, it comes from inside. It comes like right out there. All the walls do are preventing what's going to happen. I mean, I've always assumed he's just kind of been taken as the not doing anything because so many of the times they'll just be super hot-headed and they'll just go in and they'll win for some reason. But if he goes in, we all know he's going to lose. I mean, he, like, for people who didn't know, I mean, who have no idea, like, of, you know, whenever he got his Titan powers the first time, like, he got straight up, like, chomped. He was lunched. And people were just like, what the fuck is going on? And it just shows that's completely a weird anime to like compare anything to because it subverts a lot of the tropes in ways that I think people just ignore. I mean, definitely you can see Eren as a sort of like, oh, I don't want to do anything, like, everyone's doing everything besides me. But I mean, that's sort of the position he's been put in because of not only being kind of thrust into this, but also the fact that he's now capable of doing something that he's like, if I rush in again, I'm risking the exact same thing as before. Just because you're stronger doesn't mean the same thing won't happen. Being strong against the Titans didn't work the first time. Like, even with the maneuver gear, what is kind of asked to him. Like, it won't do anything. And being a Titan shifter, like, he needs to think of another way, because not only is violence not going to stop violence in some way, he just has to think of it. You're just going to have to go through it doing something else.
Different solution to his problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm not trying to say Eren Yeager's a bad character. I think he has...
No, I mean,
I think
you can
He's stronger
you
than
can
when
think
he
of
was a
anything
kid.
of him, man.
I think he has some characteristics of him that make him a good character. I just feel as though the way they portray him as sometimes just kind of rubs me the wrong way about him. It's just like,
For sure.
I'm
Usually you want to see your character like be like, yeah, you can do it, like have the belief in them. But whenever they kind of fail you, so to speak, it kind of hurts your confidence in them and can really put them in a bad light. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that.
I guess you can say he Jaeger bombed it. Thanks over here.
Jaeger bombastic. Oh my god, John.
The only thing more bomb than that is some video game soundtracks.
No, that is so awful, Steve.
We're gonna drop
Yeah!
the bombshell.
Yes.
Let's
The
do it.
golden age of the boys.
Oh yeah, that.
So, you-
All right. I
saying,
guess you guys want to get into the soundtrack talk now.
We
So,
jump
Yeah,
on
man.
Bombshell and we start listening to
We
my
should
violin
adjust our
mixtape.
track
oh my
and be
god,
sound about it.
oh my god, are you guys gonna start with the goddamn?
Let's
puns?
tight shift over to this top.
Okay, at least you guys aren't starting with the puns. Like, I don't want to hear that. But, yeah. So,
I don't know,
favorite.
we're just trying to keep on track, you know?
Stop.
You don't like the sound?
That's
You don't like the sound of
position,
puns?
Mark.
Stop, guys. I don't want more puns. I have enough. I had enough puns from our failed podcast, but I don't need this now. I don't
Are these
need.
puns
Forbidden
not music
episode.
to your ears?
OBS not working was just our punishment.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, Carlos fucked up the other week.
Yeah, to give you guys a bit of recap why there wasn't one last week is because OBS effed up on me. So, and now you guys are gonna get to experience the last 15 minutes of what I experienced last week again.
Yeah, OBS is running right now, right? That would be kind of
I'm watching it right now. It's running.
okay.
So, anyway, so favorite video game soundtracks. How about we start with Steven? Because I'm sure he
Oh, hello.
Yes,
Yes, I
hello.
am very sure that I have one. All right, so just because we're talking about last podcast, we already discussed this. This is another topic we brought back up. But last time I said that my favorite soundtrack from a video game was Persona 5, and it still is, obviously. The main thing that really puts this soundtrack to the top for me, at least, is I've played the Persona series since 3, and the music's always been top notch. It's been consistent, and I never got tired of it, and that's really important when you're playing an RPG. And I mean, that's the main thing. This one's really jazzy and has a lot of acid jazz and different things that it can bring out, and especially when you're going through the different dungeons and stuff, and it gives each one of them a different atmosphere. And even Last Surprise never really gets old unless you really don't like those grindy kind of games, but it never really rubbed me the wrong way. I always felt like it had a good sound for the game and really worked as one of the strongest, honestly, one of the strongest battle themes of the series so far. And I definitely, I mean, I don't even know if there's going to be a Persona 6, but this one's going to be really hard to beat, even if there is. But yeah, that's how I feel for myself. I mean, I even listen to it like from time and time, even when I'm drawing. It's really not relaxing, but it gets you like going. You're just like, oh my gosh, like I didn't see it coming.
Pumps you up.
It pumps you up, gets you in the
Yeah,
mood.
man. It makes me wake up, get out there.
Stop.
Are we?
I'm just waiting for like when I upload this, someone in the comment section will be like, "Oh my fucking god, you think Persona 5's fucking soundtrack is so fucking good?" What the fuck kind of person are you? You've never really heard of Persona before then. There's so much better shit.
Shut up. I'll swing. I'll be like, yeah. I mean, with Persona 3, it was really, there's a lot of definitely just straight up like rock, and it was really, like it energized you to just keep going through Tartarus. And then Persona 4 is really poppy and it's very cheery, but this one makes you feel like a Phantom Thief. It's great.
It gives you that feeling like, you know, I'm a thief and you're dead. Like
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what the battle theme is.
So
like.
you get a Persona?
Yeah, man. It really lets you know what's beneath the mask. It brings you through the rivers in the desert. It has a really good price for the game and the OST. It has a price version too, if you're gonna get it for the PS3.
Okay. Let's move on.
Stop.
Okay, let's
wait,
move on.
I got another one. That personally, I think you'll like. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
That Whims of Fate is my favorite track. That we should include that too. Whims of Fate is my favorite track. It is beat out Price.
All right.
But go ahead, Jose.
Jose, go ahead.
Take it away, man.
As I said before.
Go
my
ahead. We'll do a baton
soundtrack.
baton pass.
Let's do the reverse of the intro. Why not? So Persona leads. My favorite soundtrack is, of course, The Legend of Zelda. Any Legend of Zelda. Every Legend of Zelda. Even Legend of Zelda 2. As much as it shames me to admit. Trash game. But the music is always amazing. It's robust. It's catchy. It always stays with you. You hear it once, you hear it again, and it's like, that one. Every area has its own special music.
Even
has
rap
its own
remixes.
I mean, most of them can be remixed into EDM quite well. Except Song of Healing, which is my favorite.
There's so many trap remixes for that.
Yeah. I don't know, generally, ever since I was little, I just loved Legend of Zelda.
Legend of Zelda has a really good vibe to it with the music it plays. A lot of like what it plays fits so well with where you actually. I think Ocarina of Time did a very good job of that. Where you were.
Like.
Huh? Yeah, it's very It really gets you pumping for the adventure, my boy.
Oh, dude, you thinking about Pump from Ocarina of Time? Have you heard the Great Sea from Wind Waker?
No, I've never heard it.
Oh, dude, it's great. So Wind Waker's about sailing and boats. It's my favorite.
See, man, it's great. See, that's because.
Go on.
I was making a pun.
Yes, we know you were making a pun, Steven. You don't need to tell us you were making a pun.
Well,
Oh my gosh, I have Wind Waker HC. That game is so beautiful, and the music's great too. Yeah, no, sailing's really nice.
dude, the soundtrack for sailing.
Do you feel like
Makes
do you
you
feel
wonder.
do you feel like hitting the high seas once you're done with that game? Grabbing a crew of your
Dude, I'll hit the high E sharps, man. Come on.
God.
getting a crew of your best
Prefer
mates
E flat.
and sailing the lands and plundering for loot
Trying to
and
find the 9 shards of the fucking Triforce. Yeah.
That's the meme
So-
because E sharp is actually an F. But let's go on. Go on, Jose.
Next person.
Oh, go. Okay, well then, Omar, how about you? What's your favorite soundtrack, whatever? OST.
Obviously, it's the League of Legends Summoner's Rift track.
Shut up, Mark. Kill yourself, please. And end it. All right. No, for me, I really like The Last of Us because it fit well with the storyline. But Ori and the Blind Forest is one that really like hit me because it was like so good and it fit with the environment. And since there wasn't really a lot of lines, like vocal lines, it was mostly just following along with the subtitles and the little bit of voices there were. It was really nice because the music just, it really just fit with it. Like it was like the music was speaking for the game.
Well, yeah. I've heard some of Ori and the Blind, not a lot of Ori and the Blind Forest, but I heard some of it, and people always tell me it's like the music fits so well with whatever you were doing in the game or where you were at in the game. It was calming, but at other times it was like, I don't know. I can't really tell because I didn't really listen too much to it. I know only a couple of tracks of it, and it's been a while since I listened to it. But like, what were you gonna say, Omar?
No, that was it. I just said that's the reason most why I like it, because
Not audible.
what?
Do you have a favorite track?
You know.
Favorite track?
Say,
Honestly,
not
I don't,
horrible.
because I didn't look up every individual track. I just know all the music as I've heard it, but I don't know a specific name for any of them.
That's fine. What about you, Mark?
Obviously, my favorite soundtrack is my Minecraft
League of Legends
parody
Volume 1.
of Mine Oddity. I'm just kidding.
Hell yeah, dude.
My
Mine
favorite video game tracks is Sonic Adventure DX. Favorite soundtrack of all time. Mostly, it's a lot more nostalgia towards me because it was my first game, and I've always loved Sonic Adventure DX, even if people will call it a very crap game because it's not that great. Also
Or
love the game.
IGN. Sonic was
And
never good.
The soundtrack for me was always first game I played. Loved the music. Loved all the characters. So I always loved the game and I always loved the music. And of course, Sonic always has good music. Of course, my favorite track out of that soundtrack was "Open Your Heart," which is one of my favorite tracks of all time.
That's what plays
Any
when
Sonic
you.
game.
I think that's what plays when you go Supersonic. And
Yes, it is. It's also what plays in the beginning.
Yep. I played Sonic Adventure, and that has a very good soundtrack based on the different zones where you're in. I think my favorite soundtrack was definitely probably it's called "Be Cool, Be Wild, and Be Groovy," and basically that was what basically played. So if you've never played Sonic Adventure, it has some weird ass shit that happens in there, but I think one of the biggest, like, weirdest things is, here you are running around as Sonic, and then you break open this place, and oh wow, avalanche is coming down on you. Well, now it turns into a snowboarding game, so good luck. And then that song basically starts playing the whole time.
Did you ever realize that snowboarding section was the reason they made like a good part of, like, a lot of people like that snowboarding section? That's a good part why they made Sonic Riders.
Did they really?
Like they
Dude,
they took like some of the ideas from that snowboarding section, like, and also like from Sonic Adventure 2 where they had like the car chase and he was on the snowboard, he was on like the board as well. Like they liked that part. A lot of people liked that part so much. They were like, how about we make a game out of this? And that's where Sonic Riders really came from.
I can see that. Sonic Riders is so damn wonky sometimes. Like, holy shit! I played that game. It's so damn wonky.
Is it just me, or am I the only one that wants new Sonic Riders after Sonic? I don't even consider Sonic Free Riders a thing because that was disgusting.
Sonic Zero Gravity
I
was.
like Sonic Riders a lot.
Okay, look, Sonic Free Riders was on the Kinect, and there was a lot of problems with it being on the Kinect. I think we can all agree. Anything that came out on Kinect was absolute shit.
What about Dance Central, bro?
Okay, well, Dance
Wait,
Central.
did you not play Zero Gravity?
I did play Zero
We
Gravity.
did play Zero Gravity.
Yeah, just treat that as the sequel.
Yeah, like Zero Gravity. Okay, Zero Gravity was okay, and I think Zero Gravity had some. Can I just say for one thing that almost all the Sonic games have some pretty. They may not be good, but they definitely hit the mark on the soundtrack part of things. Like I don't know who does their soundtracks or stuff, but whoever it is, they need to give that guy like all the props in the world because he makes
Except
some
Sonic Free Riders. Anyone who was involved in Sonic
unofficially,
Free Riders needs to be burned in hell.
Unofficially, Michael Jackson did help with some of the Sonic music, so maybe, I don't know. He's not on there, but, it's alleged that he was helping them, but, we'll just keep it up in the air.
Keep it up in the air. My boy MJ, still alive to this day.
Ghost Michael Jackson.
He's gonna come in here and start.
All right, since we're never gonna discuss this because it's not really video game related, it's Sonic. So does it bother you? Because it bothers me that they don't have a gap between their eyes. It's just two lines, and then it's like the dots, but it never stops at their nose. If you look up Sonic, like his eyes are just two big eyes. Like there's a gap above his nose. Like they don't meet at his nose. Like his eyelids.
I'm looking it up. Give me a moment.
Yeah, because I don't know, it bothers me because I don't know. It's weird because it's like he just has one big like glasses or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's not a gap. It just all connects.
Yeah, and that's how like all the characters are.
Oh wow.
You're right. How did I not notice this?
My mind's been blown all these
no.
years.
They've kept it from us.
And since we're on the Sonic topic, can we talk about Sonic Mania real quick and how that game's basically...
Hey!
That game...
Thing we didn't have planned, but yeah, go ahead.
That game's doing really good right now. I mean, I still have to say my favorite soundtrack, but I think we deserve to talk about this because, one, Sonic, if you don't know what Mania is, you need to look it up, and if you have the money, give it a buy and play it because right now, supposedly, that's being called the best Sonic game ever made. And I don't know if you guys know the story behind Sonic Mania, but I can tell you real quick. So the whole story behind Sonic Mania is that it was basically a fan project. So somebody came to Sega and they were like, here, hey, can you look at my like Sonic game that I made? And he showed them it and they were like, this looks really good. And so they were like, well, how about we let you work on this game while we work on our own game? And so basically he got a group of like a bunch of other fans to work with him as well. And so that whole game is basically a game made by the fans of Sonic. And like if you haven't seen anything about it, it looks so good. I mean, I think that's the best like classic Genesis Sonic I've seen in a long time. And
Is it technically? How do you feel about their decision to let a fan make the game? I mean, obviously it's a good one according to most people that have taken the liberty to just be like, yeah, this game's awesome. But I think to me it sounds sleazy, but I could understand why they would want to do that because a fan would know what the rest of the fans want. But it just sounds funny.
I think the good idea with having done it that way is this fan is not like other like some Sonic fans where it's like, oh, I made this game and I put my like OC in it or something. No, like
where's Cold Steel? I'm gonna have to. I can't buy it.
Where's Super Dark Spine? This Saurus?
No, this guy he made a. So basically, this guy is known as Christian Whitehead. And he's the one that did the... I don't know if you guys have it on your phone.
Oh, that's the guy who did Sonic the Hedgehog on the app game.
Yeah, he's the one that did the Sonic the Hedgehog on the phone. And that one was really good. So he was the one that worked on this. And this whole project was basically... He took the zones that... So, like, there's a lot... Like, 2/3 of the game is, like, zones that were from other games. So, like, Green Hill Zone, Chemical Plant...
Green Trill Zone?
Yeah, Green Trill Zone, whatever. It's all in there, but, like, the thing that makes this game so good is that these zones aren't the same as what you had before, where it was, like... Where it could be the same zone, but it's bigger, and, like, there's branching paths throughout it. So, like, there's areas where you can't go unless you're playing, like, Knuckles. Or there's areas you can't reach unless you're playing Tails. And so,
some areas don't let you cross if you chuckle. Sonic can't go there,
And then, I think and then everything, it's just everything feels like it belongs in the game. Nothing feels too gimmicky. Of course, they added some, like, gimmicks to the game, and that's fine. Like, none of it is, like, to take away from the game. And most of those gimmicks...
So are you saying... Knuckles does chuckle like Sonic?
No, he doesn't chuckle. Knuckles doesn't chuckle. Why does everyone think about that when they think Knuckles? He does more
That is-
than.
Or
That is
or
the
what's
best
awful is when you
line
look up
in his
Knuckles.
theme I've ever heard.
Whenever you look up Knuckles, you'll find like Knuckles as in a hand reference of a human. It'll come up with Sonic Knuckles. And if you say human Knuckles, it'll show Knuckles the Echidna as a human.
You need to put body part Knuckles.
Just look at your fist.
Yeah, and
Or human hand.
yeah, and what is it? The whole game is built around. So the gimmicks in this game are not even that bad either. A lot of them are like references to some of the older games. So like they have the tornado chase and everything. And like hell, this game
Don't
is.
they have that weird ball mini game?
Yeah, mean bean. I don't remember. Mean bean green machine. I don't think it's something like that. But it's basically like Tetris or something like that. And like that's an entire boss fight with Eggman. Like that is a boss fight. And like the bosses in the game are pretty good too. And so I think if you're a fan of Sonic and you've played Sonic before, that's not to say if you've only played the modern stuff, that I'm not saying that this isn't for you either. I say also give this a buy. But if you played the classic Genesis Sonic, then this is worth the buy. This takes place exactly after Sonic and Knuckles, so this takes place after the third one, and so it's not Sonic the Hedgehog 4, but it's basically Sonic the Hedgehog 4. So it's
Disclaimer: we're not advertised by Sega to say this. We just say this because we like.
yeah, we're not advertised by Sega to say this, and they're not holding a gun to our heads right now and telling us that if we don't say this, they'll shut down the podcast. But just go buy Sonic Mania 4, please.
I mean,
Help me.
the Sonic OCs will come in Sonic Forces, so we'll just have to wait for that.
And finally, I think. So going back to my soundtrack, I think.
Undertale.
Oh yeah. So my favorite soundtrack is the Undertale soundtrack, and I think I love the Undertale soundtrack. Love it. I probably listen to the Undertale soundtrack like every day, but I love it so much.
Stop.
I love it because there's so much like. I think the Undertale soundtrack was special to me because when I first played the game, I think Undertale was one of those games where there's rarely ever a game where I think about my choices as a player. Like, usually a lot of games are just like, oh, I'm just playing a game, it doesn't matter what I do. But I felt as though Undertale was like one of those games where I really felt a connection to the characters. And so I think the soundtrack really helped me make that connection with them. Because I think a bad soundtrack can sometimes take you out of a game. You know, a really shit soundtrack, you know. If your game has a shit soundtrack, it can really take you out of the game. I think a lot of times if a game has a really like dumb soundtrack, I can't play it for too long because I like to listen to something that doesn't make me want to, gouge out my ears or something.
Sonic Free Rider.
Shut up about that. That never happened. That game never existed. So yeah, and I think that's basically my reason for liking the Undertale soundtrack. And I think my favorite soundtrack out of all that in that game is the Snowden.
You mean song?
Yeah, track or song in that is the Snowden track, because that one was. I think the first time I made it to Snowden, I was like, wow, this feels like Christmas. And at the time, it was like, at the time when I was playing Undertale, it was like December at the time. So it really felt like Christmassy at the time. It really felt, fun and, joyous time and everything. So definitely one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. And, that's basically my reason for liking that.
I was talking about a joyous time. I think it's about time to wrap this up.
Damn, that was a good transition, Mark. Yeah.
Undertale, more like Pundertale.
No, stop. No, don't start with the puns. We need to finish this now. Anyway.
I mean, it meets all your requirements, doesn't it?
I mean, we're just running out of time for the puns.
Stop. We don't need more puns. So
Yeah, we're running so fast that we completed the genocide run like super fast.
Stop.
Just going at the speed of sound, you know.
Stop. I'm trying to end the podcast. I can't end it with you two.
We're gonna find a rainbow. Come on, man.
Guys, I can't end the podcast with you two acting autistic.
We're
I'm
just trying to
excited.
find the sunshine.
Oh, hey, for everybody, you can follow me at Asterluke.
You can't follow Steven if he's too fast.
That's true.
That's right, though.
I mean,
And
if you run at the speed of light, you'll just be left in darkness.
and thanks to Omar, Jose, and Mark for being
Thanks
here.
for Crunchyroll for. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
We're not advertising. Stop.
yeah. Thanks Crunchyroll for supporting the podcast, and the anime recommended for this week is Ray Zero, so go watch that shit. And,
I love Amelia.
I just like the sound effects Mike's always do. Why?
and from all is here, I hope you guys all have a great day, and and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Show me some
See ya. Read my webcomic.
Night.
Steven.